Here's the entire fuel system of the Aerolite. So the gas tank is here. We got a pickup on the bottom. It comes around and goes through this new synthetic filter. Then goes through a primer pump, like a bulb pump. These are two automotive style fuel lines. They come up through here, 1/4-inch fuel lines, up to a Mikuni style pump driven off the variation in crankcase pressure. And then from here, it goes up to a reducer, expander, and then it goes into the carburetor. I pumped the bulb pump here, and it seems like fuel is going up to the carburetor, and I can hear it filling up. There's a sort of a buzzing sound it makes as it fills up the bowl. And now the bowl is full. I'm focusing on two different points, but I'm going to check the entire fuel system. First, I want to see, I've already shined a flashlight down into the fuel tank to see if I can see any ethanol that has separated from the gasoline, but I have not found that. I looked down there and it looked clear as far as I could tell. The second point I'm going to look at is this fuel filter here. Prior to this, I had always used a paper filter, which was much bigger. So the fuel filter being the last thing I changed on here is a little suspect to me. Like when I squeeze it, it does seem like fuel moves through it, and I don't see any cloudy ethanol residue in there. So it doesn't look blocked to me, but I'm going to cut all of these zip ties and free the whole fuel system and see if I can drain it into this glass container here to see if I see any debris. I've taken the hose clamp off of the fuel pump, and I'm going to remove it and then see if it drains. Oops, hang on. I'm going to see if it drains into my glass bowl. All right, it seems like it's draining into the glass bowl. It's not draining, well, that's how fast it's draining, whatever that is. And of course I'm not going to see any ethanol here, because that would get caught in the fuel, probably get caught in the fuel filter. Here's the fuel flow rate without the filter involved. You can see that it is much quicker. It's coming out much faster without the fuel filter. I guess that's to be expected. The fuel filter is going to cause some restriction. And I'm not seeing any ethanol separation yet on the bottom here. It's green blue, as I expect it to be, because that's the color in that's the color of the oil that I use. And the color that I see right now is typical of the 32-to-1 ratio that I normally use. So, although that's not a very scientific way of determining the ratio, it seems to me to look about the right color. Paper filter, this is the paper filter that I used prior. This is not the exact one. but it's one like it. I'm gonna put this in line to see how that restricts the flow. And here's the flow of the synthetic filter. You can see that the flow of the synthetic filter is much less than the paper filter, with approximately the same head pressure. Next in line is the fuel pump. It's a crankcase pressure operated Mikuni style low pressure fuel pump that goes then there to the carburetor. Here is the fuel pump. I don't see any tears or punctures in the membrane, and it seems to be in good shape. When I first took it off, this was full of fuel until I tapped it a couple times, and then it leaked out because of the but if I gently pry that off, it seems intact to me. I don't see any tears or, wait a second, on this side, that's sort of a filter of some kind. Oh, never mind. I thought that was a filter, but it wasn't. That's just a rubber membrane there. I thought it was clogged. But this goes like that. And the crankcase pressure presses against this and pumps fuel in and out of here and then in and out of here. Using these like little pressure valves. Those valves seem fine. There's no cracks. There's no cracks on those valve seams. Looks fine to me. Next in line is the Mikuni VM38 carburetor. Let me take that off and disassemble it, see if we've got any crap in there. Just a quick check of the air filter. It seems clean enough. There's a couple specks caught in there, but certainly not restricted in any way. That's the slide with idle throttle. That's the slide with the wide open throttle. Seems to be working perfectly. I don't have two clear containers, but this is the fuel that came out of the airplane and its color. Like I said, it seems about right to me. Now I'm going to compare it with something that came straight out of the gas can, just being mixed. There it is out of the gas can at 32 to 1. I don't know, it looks about the same to me. So here's the carburetor taken apart. I'm going to take the main jet and the idler jet out in a second. They look clean. The floats move freely, so that's not a problem. So here's the main jet, and you can see that it's clear.
Jet or just getting a vision jet?
Yeah, getting a vision jet. Okay. So I'll get this thing in focus. So I can't get this thing to see through there, but this is the idler jet, and it is clear, but I can't really align the camera to show it. I've taken off the exhaust manifold, and I'm checking inside to see if there's any scoring from possible overheating inside the engine. So there's the front piston, and it doesn't seem too bad. And then you can see the back of the cylinder. The cross hatching is still, from being honed, is still visible. Here's piston number 2, or the back one. A little greasier, but doesn't look too bad. I don't see any gouging or anything. And again, on the back of the piston, back of the cylinder, you can see the cross hatching is still there. can see that. So it doesn't look, I still feel similar compression as normal. So I'm not sure, doesn't seem like the engine is scored, but I'll show this video to the manufacturer to see if he has any different thoughts. Here's the first piston. I just wiped it off. And the back of the cylinder, you can see the cross hatching. Here's this first cylinder, I guess the rear cylinder. Most of that scratch is just oil. I rub my finger across it, it's just nothing there. Just maybe some, I can't catch my fingernail on any of that. And if there's the rings. They seem to budge a little bit when I move them, but I can't really. I can move them up and down a little bit, but I can't spin them. And again, you can see the cross hatching on the back. Now, there was no indication of an ignition failure, but I will check that as well. Here's the CDI, and everything's hanging off of it right now, so it looks a little funny. Because there was a gradual drop in RPM. And you can see that it's both ignitions fire both cylinders. You would have a instant half power scenario if one of the pistons wasn't firing. I'm gonna check the spark plugs to see what they look like. All right, here's the two spark plugs. They look clean, not broken, perhaps a little lean. That's the front one. I loosened these prior, so it's not like I've got, gorilla-like fingers here. Second one here. This looks in good shape. Actually, the first one